Hang up. Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture.
Today we're going to be talking about the difference between proformance wheels and classic wheels for jmkride Freeskates. And by the end of this video, hopefully you'll have a better idea of which wheel is right for you.
Now, which one would you like? Would you like the one containing
proformance wheels?
Or would you like the one containing
classic wheels?
Cowabunga!
So the wheels are basically the same size, same diameter. The main difference between them is going to be the roundedness of them. So as you can see, the proformance wheel over here is pretty round, and the classic wheel is pretty flat. And each of these result in some pros and cons when it comes to your riding. So we'll start with the pros of the proformance wheel. So this is the primary wheel that we ship with most of our Freeskates on our shop. And the reason for that is the roundedness of it results in a lot smoother ride. Because of the nature of Freeskating, you're flowing back and forth, you're not gonna hit as sharp of an edge as you would with this flat wheel. Instead, you're rolling on this rounded edge and it feels natural. The second thing about these proformance wheels is they are very good for throws. So if you're practicing bananas, throwbacks, anything involving the skate tipping on its side and coming back to you, these rounded wheels have a lot easier time tipping to their side than this flat wheel, which wants to stay in that flat position. And then finally, one of the great things about proformance wheels is they're typically a smoother learning experience for new riders. So when you're practicing that pumping motion and getting into it, like I said earlier, it just feels a lot more smooth with these round wheels. So we've talked about the rounded wheels. What about the classic flat wheels? So I would say one of my favorite things about the flat ones is they stay up on their own. So if you were to pick up your foot to practice one foot, that skate's gonna stay riding with you. Or if you're more advanced and you wanna do tricks on one foot while the skate is riding along next to you, this is called a ghost rider. That skate is just gonna be riding along with you. Another great thing about the classic wheels is they have a little bit more material on the corners, meaning you can do a little bit more grinding when it comes to downhill riding. So when you're flying down a hill, high speeds, when the wheels are getting really hot, that polyurethane is gonna burn away a lot quicker. So you have just a little bit more material in the corners to eat away at as you practice your downhill carving and riding. And then probably my favorite thing about these classic wheels is the straight edge allows for straighter kick flips and free flips. I'm the kind of free skater that's really into tricks, specifically flip tricks. So this flat edge actually allows for a lot straighter kickflip, a lot more consistent kickflip as far as the direction it flips. The same thing goes for a free flip when it hits coping and a mini ramp. It will flip back to you straighter and more consistently than a pro wheel. Due to the rounded nature of this proformance wheel, you might do your kickflips perfectly flat, but you might also do them at a slight angle or a slight angle this way. For this flat wheel, it's basically gonna be flat every time. Another downside to this rounded wheel is when you're trying to practice one foot and lifting your foot up, it's not really gonna stay riding with you unless you have it perfectly placed. If you want that skate to do a ghost rider, you're gonna want these flat wheels. The same thing also goes for tricks like the satellite, where the skate has to be rolling flat for quite some time. The pros are not the best for tricks like that. And then for downsides of the classic wheels, like I said with the pros, they're pretty smooth. This is gonna have a little bit more sharp of an edge, so it's not gonna feel as comfortable riding. It'll be fine, both wheels are great, but it's gonna be a little less smooth with this flat wheel. Another thing about the flat wheels, which is almost kind of funny when it happens, is if you try a trick and you send your skate flying, the classic wheels are really likely to run away from you and go like a super far distance. In this case, the rounded ones tipping over is kind of an advantage because they tip over sooner and you have to run a lot less distance to go retrieve your skate. With these flat wheels, you might be chasing your skates for quite some distance. And then another downside to these flat wheels, they're not gonna be as nice for throw tricks as these rounded ones. You have to be a little bit more particular about placing it so that it stays tipped. However, I will say if you have good technique, if you know where to place the skate, then you shouldn't really have a problem with either wheel. And that's kind of the theme with this whole thing. At the end of the day, both of these wheels are great. It just comes down to your riding style and taking all these pros and cons into consideration and making a decision that best suits your riding style. If you have any further insights, please do leave those in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe and click on this video to watch next. Thanks so much for watching and roll with us.